Hey, I'm on my way to work. It's Thursday morning. Just some things that I've been thinking about here lately. Have you ever experienced that emotion of when somebody you love, somebody who you care about, somebody who you respect is disappointed in you? I remember when I was a kid, times that I had disappointed my dad. And when he expressed that disappointment in me, that really tore me up. It affected me because I loved my dad and I respected his opinion. And knowing that I had disappointed him affected me. Well, what about you? Do you remember that feeling of disappointing your parents, or disappointing maybe a spouse or your kids or your boss at work or whoever, co-workers, friends, and what that feels like? Well, what about disappointing God? I mean, how does that affect us? Maybe you've lived for years with the feeling of guilt because you feel like you've disappointed God, or maybe on a daily basis you struggle with the feelings of how you are disappointing God, and that has affected you to the point that it makes you want to give up. It makes you want to quit fighting the good fight of faith and just give up the Christian walk. Well, I want you to think about something. I'm going to make a statement here, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. It is actually impossible to disappoint God. Now, as soon as I say that, I know some of you are thinking, oh, wait a minute. What are you saying? Are you saying that we can live, we are living a perfect life, sinless life, where we are all the time living up to God's standards, and in that way we are not disappointing Him? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that even when you sin as a Christian, even when you fail, falter and struggle in your Christian walk, you have not disappointed God. And why I say that is because of what disappointment is. Just think about it for a minute. Disappointment finds its source in unmet expectations. In other words, when you disappoint, say, your spouse, for example, your spouse has expected you to do one thing and you did not do it, or has expected you not to do something and you did what they expected you not to do. In other words, they thought you would do one thing, you did not do it, or they thought you would not do something and you ended up doing it. When that happens, they become disappointed. But this never happens with God, because God looks from the perspective of omniscience. God knows everything you will do and everything you won't do, including all your failures and sins, before you do them. God from all eternity, before you were born, before your grandparents were born, before He created the heavens and the earth, before He set the cosmic clock into motion and the first second ticked off of that clock, God knew even then, every time that you would fail, every time that you would sin, every time that you would not live up to His standard, He knew it then. And even then, He still chose you. He still loved you. And even now, He's with you. He loves you. Because He knew that you wouldn't be perfect even after you got saved. Does this give us license to sin? God forbid. No, it doesn't give us license to sin. But what it should do is help us to be free from the condemnation of the devil that comes to tell us, you've disappointed God. You're nothing but a disappointment to God. You should just give up, go back to the world, and do whatever you want to do. Just go into sin and just give up the good fight of faith. Knowing that God loves us in spite of our sin. Knowing that God is not disappointed in us, that He's not surprised that we sinned, should give us a positive push, a loving assurance that He is with us even now to help us out of our sin. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that helps somebody. I know when I first thought about this, and I first heard about it and really thought about it, it really helped me. And it helps me to this day to know that God's not disappointed in me, and that God's with me and He loves me, even in spite of myself. He doesn't love me because of what I do for Him. He loves me because He's a God of love. Have a good day.